resistance to make quads pop up. That. All right, knee extensions. So go ahead and push. And relax. And suppose you can't see, I'm below the knee. Don't place it directly on top of the knee, please. Below the knee to kind of stabilize. You can palpate and feel around that patella. Explore this area today. Knee massage, man. Underrated. Y'all ever had your knees massaged? Yeah. Best. Play around with that. So extend, and then we can identify. Go and push with my hand. All her quads. You got nice quads. And relax. How would I identify rectus femoris if I wanted to find that one?
Locate the AIIS.
I could do that if I'm using bony landmarks. Find the AIIS and drop down. But instead of poking around here, there it is. And notice I use the back of my hand. And then dropping down. I could muscle test and have her do what? Remember rectus femoris?
No, Ricky. Hit something quick.
Skip flex. Hip flexion.
Oh, yeah.
Go ahead, flex your hips. And relax. When you have them do hip flexion, none of the other quadricep muscles are going to activate, as long as her knee is in a relaxed state. Now, if she's like fully locked in the knee and flexing her hip, it's all activated. But if we have a nice soft knee and she just flexes the hip, I provide resistance above the knee, I can find rectus femoris. Now, what about sartorius? So you're activating it, you're doing all that. So go ahead and put your leg out. Get your this, you comfortable?
Yeah.
So her hip is flexed, she is laterally rotated, her knee is flexed. I'm gonna have her push against my hand. And so with this one, where does it originate?
ASIS.
ASIS. Right. That was better. Yeah. Relax. So this is the area of adductors. Those muscles we previewed and they attach on the back of the leg. They're all located right here, but they go from the pelvis in varying lines like this. Sartorius starts ASIS and runs at an angle to attach down to the pes anserinus. So you're looking for the one muscle that runs across. Everything else on the inside and that inner thigh is going to go either angular or if there's one muscle that goes straight up and down. So we're looking for the cross. Back of your hand, that's her ASIS. It's going to run this way. Sorry. I'm on the left leg. So I'm going to have her push. You doing all right? Mm-hmm. And relax. You'll only feel it maybe in like the bulk of the thigh.
It's pretty thin muscle.
Mm-hmm. It's maybe like 2, maybe if you're lucky it's 3 fingers. It's a strap muscle. It's the longest one in the body. Let's go back and draw our quads though. Where's our main insertion? Tibial tuberosity. This knob right here. You can easily feel it. Just follow up the shin. You'll find the bump right there. They're all going to come up, wrap around on top, below, on the sides. They can totally encapsulate the patella. So right around there. Remember, her rectus femoris runs straight up. We muscle tested by having her flex her hips. So go ahead and push against my hand. Keep your knee relaxed. So just think about, it's hard, right? Just think about bringing your femur up. That's hard. And relax. It is hard. You gotta like think about what your body's doing.
Thinking is hard.
It's also, it runs straight up and down. You can feel, you'll fall off the valleys. So it's just straight up. I'm not going to go much further than that for the drawing. We'll just go to the sheet. Vastus intermedius is deep and underneath. This is rectus femoris. This one will be a little bit harder in a completely relaxed state. You can displace rectus femoris one way or another. But we know it's just under. So VI, vastus intermedius. I'm going to draw muscle fibers for you for these as well. All the vastus muscles, their fibers run oblique. Can you bump down the AC to 70? Thank you. You know it's bad if I'm sweating. Next one, on the inside, vastus medialis, sometimes known, you'll see it written as VMO, vastus medialis obliquus. It is the most obliquely, it's the muscle with the most obliquely running fibers. So it has the strongest or most prominent angle, is what I'm trying to explain. It's shaped like a teardrop. So go ahead and extend your knee. Good, right? Mm-hmm. And relax. You can actually feel the palpable edge of vastus medialis, and I kind of nailed it. Because these adductors that run here don't cross the knee. They're not involved with knee stuff. This is vastus medialis. And these fibers all run like that. Originates where?
The medial line of the linea aspera.
Medial lip of the linea aspera. And our friend here on the side attaches to the lateral lip. So I'm going to have you extend again. I'm going to put that in my mouth. Relax. So here's the thing about vastus lateralis. It's the only muscle of the lateral thigh. When I have her extend her knee, I'm looking for the edge. Relax. Because the hamstrings do what to the knee? It flex it.
Yeah.
Hamstrings and quadriceps are antagonistic when it comes to actions at the knee. So I'm looking for that border where the tension of the muscle stops, creates a nice border, and we've got our slack hamstrings on the back. So it was right about there. And all this, but once you get to the crease of the hip where she's going to flex, it's going to be right there. This is all glutes and TFL here on the side. That's where my lateralis kind of goes over and attaches, wraps around, attaching to the lateral lip of the linea aspera, all the way up and kind of just under that greater trochanter. And again, my fibers are running obliquely, not as starkly as vastus medialis. Vastus lateralis. Where's your kneecap? We didn't muscle test for this one. TFL. This is a bony landmark one. So easy. Back of your hand. Why do we use the back of our hands to find things?
It's a little less invasive.
It's less invasive. I can find the broad, well, there's your hip. And then I can pronate and find really what I'm looking for with my fingers. But while I'm looking, it's less invasive. Here we are. Find that bone? What's that bone?
Greater the femur, greater trochanter.
Oh, this one. I'm pointing to this one.
Oh, there.
I do go to the greater trochanter, but right here.
Okay, pelvis.
So it's my ASIS that runs back on that iliac crest.
Okay.
So the ASIS, but then you just go kind of behind it. Hands down, fingers on the greater trochanter. So those are my two bony landmark points. Back of my hand, greater trochanter. Keep going up, ASIS. So her TFL, I can only draw the bottom part. It's going to be right there. I gave you a wide TFL. You know, it's probably some good hip abduction. Just that's right there. What does TFL do? Abducts the hip, and it also flexes the hip. What is that, 324? It abducts and it flexes the hip. And in my class, they were sassy. They were not my favorite class. Yeah, my favorite class. knows that one. TFL, because it's a tensor fascia lata, right? And it sounds like something you would order at Starbucks, right? And how are you going to sassily order this fancy drink? You're going to A/B ducts, and you're going to flex. And you're like, give me that tensor fascia lata, please.
No whipped cream, extra caramel.
And you got to just pop the hip and go for it.
Don't forget the sprinkles.
6 pumps caramel.
Yeah. See, here now. Just this little muscle here is our TFL, but it has a very interesting insertion point. Originates just posterior to the ASIS. Where does it insert? The iliotibial tract. And how far down does that go?
Down to the
Tibial.
top of the tibia, right? The
Tubercle.
okay.
The tuberosity is underneath. The tubercle is on the side.
Okay.
Tubercle is lateral.
Yes.
Because, we're all like poets here. It's a lot wider than this. And your IT band, iliotibial tract, is unique in that portions of it are tendinous, a large portion of it is ligamentous. Depends on the layer you're at. It serves as a stabilizing structure. It is tight on everyone, and it will always be tight on everyone. You need it to be tight, but just not too tight. So it runs up and down, tiny little tensor muscle. The word tensor fascia lata, it means that when it tightens, is creating tension along this fascial band, this fascial lata. That's its job. Concentrically, yeah, it does like some stuff secondarily, but its main job is to create tension at the IT band so you have pelvic stabilization when you walk. Okay, one more muscle. As we said, sartorius inserts where? Are you like the one person whose pes isn't tender?
Maybe.
That's okay. So it's the anterior medial, just below the condyle of the tibia, your pes. It's usually tender. Where does it insert?
The ASIS.
At ASIS. And it's going to run down. I'm not going to put her in that position again. What kind of angle? Almost crashing. And remember, you're looking for the muscle when we put her in that figure 4 stance and put our hand against and ask her to bring her leg in. We're looking for the muscle that runs at an angle, like this. Everything else, every adductor muscle, is not going to curve. And sartorius is the most superficial, so it's going to be on top. You'll be able to kind of move it around. Everything else is going to run up and down. So this is our sartorius. I'm going to write it all out because it has my name in it. Ta-da.